Sec 1 2016 Paper 1. In the first sum, we have 4, 5, 3, 6 written as a product of prime factors with unknown power of 2 and 3. What we can do is to find the actual factors by dividing by the prime factors until we have 1. Therefore, now we can write 4, 5, 3, 6 as 2 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 4 times 7. Matching the numbers, we have x equals to 3 and y equals to 4. In the second sum, we have to express 18.9 millimeter square to cm square. We know that 1 cm is 10 millimeter. Therefore, squaring both sides, we have 1 cm square is 100 millimeter square. Therefore, 18.9 millimeter square will be equals to 18.9 divided by 100. And that gives us 0.189 cm square. Next, we need to factorize 3a square minus 6a plus 15ab. 3 is common, so we take out 3. A is also common, take out a. So what is left is a minus 2 plus 5b. In the next sum, we have to expand and simplify. Part A, using the distributive law, we expand it as 6x plus 3y, 3 times 2x, 6x, 3 times y, 3y, minus 2 times x, minus times minus is plus, 2 times 3y is 6y. So collect like terms, we have 4x plus 9y. In the second part, we need to express this into a single fraction. To do that, we need to put it all to the same denominator. So the common denominator is 12. So for the first fraction, we multiply by 6 over 6 to get a denominator of 12. The second term, we multiply by 4 over 4. And the last one, we multiply by 3 over 3. Now the common denominator is 12. We put it under a single denominator. The numerator here will be 6 times x plus 2 plus 4 times x minus 3 and 3 times x minus 4. Opening the brackets, we have 6x plus 12 plus 4x minus 12 and minus 3x plus 12. Okay, minus 12 plus 12 is 0. So we have 10x minus 3x is 7x plus 12 over 12. We cannot cancel the 12 because this is addition. We need now to solve the following equations. So for part A, we must first open the brackets to get 2m minus 10 minus 3 times m minus 3m minus 6 equals to m minus 22. Collect all the m terms together. Well, 2m minus 3m is minus m minus 16 equals to m minus 22. Collecting all the m's together, we have 2m, and collecting the numbers together, 22 minus 16 is 6. So m must be equal to 3. We can check whether our answer is correct by substituting into the equation and to see whether it is balanced. Part B. For part B, we need to solve a fractional equation, and to do that, what we need to do first is to express the left hand side as a single fraction. That means it must have the same denominator, which in this case is 12. So we multiply this by 3 over 3. And on this side we multiply by 2 over 2. And now the denominator is 12. We have 3 bracket 2x minus 5 plus 2 bracket 7x minus 11. So we open up the brackets, 6x minus 15 plus 14x minus 22. That is 20x minus 37 over 12. The next step is to cross multiply. So we have 3 bracket 20x minus 37, 12 bracket 8x plus 11. Open up and simplify. We should have x equals to negative 6 3/4. In the next sum, we have a trapezium, and the trapezium has the parallel sides x and 28, and the height is 15. The area of the trapezium, as we know, is half of the height times the sum of the parallel sides. And we are given the area, therefore, using the formula, half of the height times the sum of the parallel sides, which is x plus 28, and this gives us 3, 4, 5. So solving this equation, we have 15 x plus 28 equals to 690, and then we can find that x equals to 18. The first part is to form the equation. in x. The second part is to solve the equation, which gives you x equals to 18 cm. Since it asks for the value of x, we cannot put any unit. The next sum is on angles, and the first thing that we need to find is the angle E. To find angle E, we need to split it up into two angles, A and B. A plus 130 is 180, and this is interior angles, parallel lines. So that gives us A is 50, and B is equals to 65, and this is alternate angles, parallel lines. Therefore, angle E is the sum of the two angles, B and A, which gives us 115 degrees. Oh, again, we need to find the value, so we cannot put any angle. For the second part, we need to find H. Now H is equal to C. Therefore, we need to find C first. C plus 70 is 180, and this is interior angles, and AB parallel to HG. That gives us C is 110. Therefore, H equals to C, corresponding angles, and the parallel lines. Therefore, H is also equal to 110. No degrees, because it is value. The next sum is on polygon. We are given a regular polygon has an interior angle of 140. To find the number of sides, it's easier to find the exterior angle first. And the exterior angle is 180 minus 140, which is 40 degrees. So the number of sides is just 360 divided by 40, which gives us 9. And a polygon with 9 sides is called a nonagon. The next sum is on interest rate. And we have, for the first part, the principal is 200,000, and the rate is 7.4% per annum. He took a 10-year loan, so the time is 10. So the simple interest is just PRT and that gives us $148,000. And to calculate the amount he has to pay back is just the principal, which is 200,000 plus 148,000. That gives us $348,000. In the next part, we need to calculate how much he need to pay monthly. To do that, his monthly installment is just the total sum divided by the number of months, and 10 years, 1 year is 12, so 10 years is 120 months. So we divide by 120 to give us $2,900. Next sum is on ratio, where 3 persons, Albert, Bobby and Charles, they share in the ratio of 2:3:4. The total is $378. We first find the total ratio, and Bobby's share will be equals to, Bobby is 3 parts out of 9 parts times 378. That gives us $126. For part B, if Danny, another person, offer to share half the cost, therefore, how much will Danny has to pay? Now we know the total sum is 378, so Danny's share is half that. 378 divided by 2. That gives us 189. Now, since Danny is taking half the amount, therefore, if Albert, Bobby and Charles, the total number of parts is 9. 3 plus 4 plus 2 is 9. Therefore, Danny's share will be 9 parts. And therefore, the ratio of their contribution, Albert, Charles and Danny, is just simply 2:4 Charles and Danny 9. The next sum is on statistics, and here we have a frequency table with an unknown value of the number of students, and we are given a mean score. We need to form an equation in X. Since we are given the mean, we use the mean to form an equation. To find the mean, first we have to find the total score. The total score is found by multiplying the number of students times the score to find the total for each score, and we add all up. The first one is 8, 25, 60, 56, 24, 9x, and 10. And this over the total frequency. And the total frequency is 29 plus x. And this gives us the mean, which is 6.4. In the second part, we simplify this to get 183 plus 9x over 29 plus x equals to 6.4. We cross multiply and solve for the value of x, which in this case is 1. So knowing x, therefore we will know the total number of students, which is 29 plus x, which is 1. So the total number of students is 30. In part B, we have to find the modal score, which is the mode. The mode is the score that has the highest frequency. And The highest frequency is 10, therefore the mode is 6. So the modal score equals to 6. And for the last part, we need to find the median score. As we know, there are 30 scores, therefore the median is between the 15 and the 16 score. So the median score is the 15 score. Here we have 7 scores and another 10 scores. Total 17 scores here. So the 15 score is a 6. And the 16 score is also a 6. So the median score is therefore 6. The next sum is on sequence. We need first to identify the pattern. Row 1, it will be 1 plus 1. This corresponds to the row number, which is equal to 8 times 1 to the power of 3, which equals to 8. And row 2, again, this is the row number, 2 plus 2 to the power of 3, which will be equal to 8 times 2 to the power of 3, 64, and so on. Therefore, for row n, it will be n plus n equals to 8 times n to the power of 3, and this gives us 8n cubed. So if we want to find the value in row P, it will be 8p cubed, which will be equal to 238, 328, and p cubed is 29791. Taking the cube root, (31). In the last sum, we have a sum on construction, and the first thing to do is to find the perpendicular, to construct the perpendicular bisector of DC. DC is this line here. So to find the perpendicular bisector, we mark an X above and below the line. That is part A, 1. And we label this line as L1. The second part is the angle bisector of ADC. ADC is, the angle is at D. So we draw an arc, and where the arc cut the sides, we mark an X. Join the X to D. This is our angle bisector, and this is A part 2, and we call this line L2. So L1 and L2 cuts at T, so this is the point T, and we are to measure the length of TC, which is this length. And when we measure TC, we put it outside the figure, and TC is 5.8 cm. This is the end of the paper. Thank you. Sec 1 2016, paper 2. In the first question, we have a sum on proportion. We are given that y is inversely proportional to x squared. This means that y equals to constant divided by x squared, and k is a constant. Next, we need to find k so that we can find the formula connecting x and y. We are given two values here. When y is 19, x is 3. So that gives us 19 equals to k over 3 squared. And this works out to be k is 171. Therefore, the formula is y equals 171 over x squared. Now we can use the formula to find the value of y when x is given as 0.3. So y will be equal to 171 over 0.3 squared, which gives us y equals to 1900. We have another part, C, where y is given as 684. So now we substitute into the formula. 684 equals to 171 over x squared, and that gives us x squared is 171 over 684. Cancel. That works out to be 1/4, and square root of that, since it's x squared, there are two possible answers, plus minus 0.5. In the next question, we have a sum on speed, and we are given that Ken cycles from town A to town B, which is x kilometers away. If he travel at 25 kilometers per hour, find the time he take to reach town B. Now, this will be in terms of x, because we are looking at the formula where the speed is distance over time. So now we want to find the time is distance over speed. Distance is x, and the speed is 25. So the time taken will be x over 25 hours. In part B, he travels from town B to town A at a speed of 32 kilometers per hour. So now his time taken for the backward journey will be distance x over the speed. As before, time is distance over speed. Don't forget to put the units. We are given that the difference in time is 7/10 hour. So the difference in time is x over 25 minus x over 32, which gives us 7/10. Okay. Make it into a single denominator, 800. That will be 7x over 800, 7/10. And simplifying this, we will have x equals to 80. And the time taken from B to A, which is x over 32, will be 80 over 32. And this time taken will be 2.5 hours. Now, since we need to find the time when he start on Wednesday at 2300 hours from B to town A, and it take 2.5 hours, so adding 2.5 hours to this, we will have 2300 plus 2 hours and 30 minutes to give us 25:30, and that is actually 2400 hours is one day, which is Wednesday, and 1:30 is the next day. So his day of arrival will be Thursday at 1:30 a.m. We now have a question on simple interest, and the principal here is 500,000. The rate of simple interest in bank X is 1.5% per annum. So in bank X, to calculate the interest at the end of 2 years, in bank X, the interest for 2 years will be PRT. P R is 1.5 over 100, and T is 2 years, and that will be 1,000, 15,000. Now we need to find the interest in bank Y at the same rate, 1.5 per annum. To find the interest, we need to use the formula, the amount equals to the principal times 1 plus the rate to the power of 2, and that gives us 15,112. Which is 515,112.50. So to find the interest, we need to take the amount minus the principal, and the interest is 15,112 and 50 cents. This is the part 2. And for part B, which bank should she invest in? So we should invest in, she should invest in bank Y. So that she gets 112.50 more. The next sum is on the polygon. First, we have a trapezium on which the triangle is mounted, and we need to find the area. The total area is therefore the area of the trapezium plus the triangle. So area A, B, C, D, E. Okay, area of the triangle is half base times height plus the area of the trapezium is half the height times the sum of the parallel sides. And this works out to be 198 cm square. In part 2, we need to find angle CBD. Now angle CBD plus 60 plus 90 will give us 180. This is angle sum of triangle CBD. Okay, that gives us angle CBD is 30 degrees. In part 3, we are given that angle BAE, which is 5x minus 2, is 4 times angle CBD, which is 30. So the equation is 5 minus 2 equals to 120. And solving this, we have x is 24.4. We need to find the value, so there are no units. The next sum is on the area of a circle, and we are to find the ratio of the shaded part to the unshaded part. The area of the big circle is pi r square, which is 2y square, and the area of the medium circle is pi r square, where r is y, and the smallest circle is pi y over 2 square. So now let us find the shaded area, which is just pi y square minus pi y over 2 square. That is pi y square minus pi y square over 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And that gives us 3/4 y square. Now for the unshaded area, the unshaded area is the small circle plus this. The area here is pi 2y square minus pi y square. And then we add the unshaded smallest circle, which is pi y over 2 square. So that gives us 4 pi y square minus pi y square plus pi y square over 4. And that is 3 1/4, which is 13 pi y square over 4. Now we need to find the ratio, and the ratio is 3 pi y square over 4 is to 13 pi y square over 4. That works out to be 3:13. Now we have a sum on the total surface area of a cuboid. And this cuboid is filled with juice up to a height of 3/4. There's 3/4 of 16. So the height of water is actually 3/4 of 16, which is 12 cm. Therefore, to find the surface area in contact with the juice, there's no top, so the sides here are open up to look like this, and therefore the total surface area in contact with the juice is just simply 2 of this, 2 12 times 20, 2 of this, 12 times 14, and the base, which is 14 times 20. And this works out to be 1096 cm square. We have another sum on volume and surface area, and in this case here we have a piece of machinery in the shape of a prism. Prism has a uniform cross section, and the cross section is a parallelogram, and there's a hole that is drilled through. The hole is of diameter 10. We have first to find the area of PQRT. The area of PQRT is the area of a parallelogram, which is just base times height. The base is 22 times the height, 12. That gives us 264 cm square. Next, we have to find the length QX. QX is the height of the parallelogram. The other height of the parallelogram is 12. So using QX multiplied by 15, this gives you the area using this as base and this as height. So it must be equal to the other area, which is using this base and height, which is 12 times 22. which we have found earlier on, is 264. So QX must be 17.6 cm. Next, we have to find the shaded area. The shaded area is the area of the parallelogram which is 264 minus the area of the circle, the circular hole, which is pi square, and this works out to be 185, which is 185.5 cm square. Now we need to find the volume of the prism, and the volume of a prism is just the shaded area, which is the cross section, (185.5) multiplied by the length, 26, which gives us 4823 cm cube. Finally, we are given that the density of the material to make the prism is 8.5 grams per cm cube. The density means that 1 cm cube weighs 8.5 grams. Therefore, the mass of the prism we use the formula, density is mass over volume, and therefore the mass is density times volume. Density is 8.5 times the volume 4823. That gives us 40995.5 grams, and we are to give the answer correct to two significant figures and in kilograms. So it will be 41 kilograms to 2SF, significant figure. Now we have a sum on a graph, and we are given this table here. This is the temperature in the freezer, and this is the time. The equation is given as y equals to negative 5x plus 30 to find the value of P and Q. All this must be done on the graph paper. So the equation is this, and therefore to find P and Q we need to substitute into the equation. So here is x is 2 and y is P. So substituting here, we have P equals to negative 5 bracket 2, x is 2 plus 30. That gives us P is 20. And similarly for Q, x is Q, substitute in here, y is 5, and x is Q. Working out, we have Q equals to 5. Next, we have to draw the graph, and we are given the scale is 2 cm to 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 cm to 5 units on the y-axis. So 2 cm, which is a big square, to represent 5 on the y-axis, and 2 cm to represent 1 on the x-axis. Make sure that you have labeled the axis properly. with the x and y numbers on the left of the y-axis and below the x-axis. Now we are ready to plot 0, 30, that is this point here. Next 2 and p is 5, 20, 4, 10, and 8 is 5, 5, 5, 5, and the last point is 8, 10, 8, negative 10. So 8 and negative 10 is below. So now we join the line. And we have to label it as y equals negative 5x plus 30. So the next part is to find the value of y given x is 6.5. So x is 6.5, which is here. We draw a dotted line to the line that we have drawn and draw a dotted line to get the answer for y. The dotted line is your working. So y is negative 2.5 degrees centigrade. And when y is 21, so y is 21, we draw to the line again and read off the value of x, drawing a dotted line. Y is 21, draw a dotted line, hit the line and read off the x value, which is 1.9 minutes. Okay, there's a plus minus 0.1 error. Okay, so for part D, you have to write down the coordinates where it intersect the x-axis. So this is the point that intersect the x-axis, and that point is 6, 0. And that is the end of the paper. Thank you.